Maybe your low self-esteem is actually a good thing. Hi, I'm Slick Nick, and I want to share this wisdom with you today. So my wife and I currently, actually on that TV, we're watching Spanglish, which is still on Netflix through the end of the month. I saw this movie several times in college and really liked it. You know, that was one of the first serious Adam Sandler movies that he did. And I really liked it back then. 20 years later, I'm like, okay, well, here's problems I have with the movie, but it's still worth watching. But last night as we were watching, Cloris Leachman, who was actually on Dancing with the Stars, the mother, the older mother, the grandmother on the movie, she says this to her grown daughter, who would be, you know, close to my age, 40 now. She says this, I'm quoting the movie, "Lately, your low self-esteem has just been common sense," end quote. So the way I would translate that is, use your low self-esteem as a motivator. They're one of my favorite bands from college. It's called Guster. They have a song called 2 Points for Honesty. And they say, in that song, they say, if that's all you will be, you'll be a waste of time. Another translation is, and I've said it in songs I've written and put on this channel. There's a song called Three-Legged Dog, if you want to look that up. And the whole song's about this. That we're told, just be you, just be yourself, and people will like you for who you are. That's not true at all. Believe me, that's not true at all. Why should you believe me? Because I'm a 40-year-old man. I've lived a lot more than you have. I've lived longer, I've lived through more life experience. I've had more failures in life, and I've had more success in life, just because I've lived longer than you. And what I'm telling you, as someone with that life experience, is that you're not enough. You have to evolve. You have to become what other people need from you. There's a very famous book about this, a very old book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. It's all about emotional intelligence. How can you get things from people by being the version of yourself that they need you to be? So it's good that you know who you are, and the way you find out who you are is you find out what you're bad at, and then you do the opposite, and then you learn what you're good at. Okay, and that's who you are. Okay, but maybe you need to improve yourself. We all do, obviously. So we have to figure out, how do I say this in the way that the person will appreciate it? How do I do that? But let's go back to low self-esteem. So if you have a low self-esteem, one of the things that tells me right off the bat is that you probably are still sorting out who you actually are. And I'd say the easiest way to figure out who you are, again, is to consider, what am I not good at? So for me, I was very bad at math, very bad at science, very bad at anything like engineering related. And my IQ is not that high. I wasn't one of those book smart kind of people. However, I was a creative person. I was very good being on stage, being in plays, learning to play the guitar and writing songs and singing. Those were things I was good at. Because by default, I knew I was bad at math, science, etc. High IQ stuff. So I learned to entertain. I learned to communicate. And that has become my identity. That became my identity even as I was a child. But I figured it out. And I built on that. And I figured that out. I think largely a low self-esteem means you don't know who you are yet, but I would say it also has to do with you being self-centered. I know that sounds like insult to injury. Hey man, you got a low self-esteem? Well, you're not that cool either, right? Is that how it sounds? It's not how I mean it at all, but let's explore this a little bit more. So, people who have low self-esteem often are very much focused on themselves. They have what's called a victim mentality. They're thinking, I'm not good enough, nobody likes me. Well, okay, let's work with that. Maybe your low self-esteem serves you well. Why does nobody like you? Well, because when you're around them, what are you offering for them? Are you making the conversation about you or about them? Because that's emotional intelligence 101. People like to be around positive people. People like to be around someone who is smiling and attentive and asking the other person questions, and when they do talk about themselves, it's only to get the person talking about themselves. That's how you get people to like you. It's not because you're cool, it's because you are empathetic and you're easy to relate to and you're easy to be around. So someone who is not feeling good about themselves because no one's paying attention to me, no one likes me, mumbling, looking at the ground. It's not about you. That's not how life works. It's not about you. It's about everybody else. And when you are able to accept that and work with that as your reality, you get what you actually want, which is people to like you because you became a likable person. You got low self-esteem? That's okay. Work with it. And also, here in a few minutes, I'm going to be shooting a video, basically the 7 attractive traits for a male, because I know that the majority of my viewers are male. So I'm going to make that video so you can be on the lookout for that. Your comments belong right here.